Hello friends, in this video I am going to discuss the President of India and introduction. The President of India is the highest honor, dignity and prestige. The President of India is the head of a state of India and the Commander-in-Chief of the Indian Armed Forces. So in this video I will discuss the introductory account of the Indian President. However, in subsequent videos, I will discuss powers and duties and impeachment of the President in detail. Now, let's begin with the introduction. The President of India is enshrined in Part 5 of the Constitution, Chapter 1, heading the Executive and subheading that is the President. Now, let's discuss the provisions. That is the introductory features. Article 52. It states that there shall be a President of India. Likewise, the President is the head of the state. Next, Clause 1, Article 53. It states that the executive power of the Union shall be vested in the President and shall be exercised by him either directly or through officers subordinate to him in accordance with this Constitution. It means all the executive power of the Union is in the hands of President and he can exercise such power either himself, that is directly, or through the officers subordinate to him. Now, the question is, who are the officers subordinate to the President? Officers subordinate are the ministers. Next, Article 53, Clause 2. It states that without prejudice to the generality of the foregoing provision, the supreme command of the defense forces of the Union shall be vested in the President and the exercise thereof shall be regulated by law. It means the supreme command of the defense forces is vested in him and it is to be exercised in accordance with the law. Next, Article 77, Clause 1. It states that all executive action of the Government of India shall be expressed to be taken in the name of the President. It means no action can be done without the knowledge and consent of the President. Now, the question is, what are duties of the President? Prima facie, the first duty of the President is to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and the law of India. Now, the next question is, what are the powers of the President? The powers of the President can be categorized as legislative power, such as appointment of Prime Minister and on his advice other ministers. He can summon both the houses, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. He can dissolve the Lok Sabha. He can make an ordinance, etc. Next, executive power, that he can exercise directly or through officers subordinate to him in accordance with the Constitution. Next, judicial power. He appoints the Chief Justice of the Union Judiciary and other judges on the advice of the Chief Justice. Next, financial power. A money bill can be introduced in the Parliament only with the President's recommendation. Next, diplomatic power. All international treaties and agreements are negotiated and concluded on behalf of the President. Next, military power. He is the supreme commander of the Indian Armed Forces. Next, pardoning power. He has the power to pardon a convicted person in case of death sentence. Next, appointment power. He has appointment power to fill certain posts including the Prime Minister, some members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, Election Commissioner, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, etc. Emergency power. He has the power to declare emergency in the whole of India or a part of its territory in case of war or armed rebellion or an external aggression. Last but not the least, veto power. The President has power to refuse to approve the bill and send it back to Parliament for the amendment, which constitutes veto power. It is limited power, although. Now, the next question is types of veto power. Following are the three types of veto power: absolute veto, suspension veto, and pocket veto. In my coming videos, I will discuss all these powers separately in detail. So please keep watching. Now, the next question is, what is procedure of the President's election? As defined in Article 54 of the Indian Constitution, the President shall be elected by the members of an electoral college consisting of the elected members of both houses of Parliament and the elected members of the legislative assemblies of the states. Note, in this article and in Article 55, the meaning of a state includes the National Capital Territory of Delhi and the Union Territory of Pondicherry. Now, the next question is, what is term of the President? As defined in Article 56 of the Indian Constitution, the President shall hold office for a term of 5 years from the date on which he enters upon his office. Now, the next question is, what is the qualification to be President of India? As defined in Article 58(1) of the Indian Constitution, no person shall be eligible for election as President unless he is a citizen of India, has completed the age of 35 years, and is qualified for election as a member of the House of the People. Now, the next question is, what are the conditions of the President's office? As defined in Article 59 of the Indian Constitution, the President shall not be a member of either House of Parliament or of a House of the Legislature of any state, and if a member of either House of Parliament or of a House of the Legislature of any state be elected President, he shall be deemed to have vacated his seat in that House on the date on which he enters upon his office as President. It means he cannot hold two posts simultaneously. The President shall not hold any other office of profit. Next, the President shall be entitled without payment of rent to the use of his official residences, and shall be also entitled to such emoluments, allowances, and privileges as may be determined by Parliament by law, and until provision in that behalf is so made, such emoluments, allowances, and privileges as are specified in the second schedule. Last but not the least, that is, the emoluments and allowances of the President shall not be diminished during his term of office. Now, the next question is, how much emoluments the President receives? The President of India receives 1.5 lakh as monthly salary. He is given Rashtrapati Bhavan, that is the President's official residence. Rashtrapati Bhavan is the largest presidential palace in the world. The official state car of the President is a custom-built, heavy armored Mercedes-Benz S600 W221 Pullman Guard. Next, oath and affirmation of the President. As defined in Article 60 of the Indian Constitution, every President and every person acting as President or discharging the functions of the President shall, before entering upon his office, make and subscribe in the presence of Chief Justice of India or in his absence the senior most judge of the Supreme Court. Last but not the least, that is, can President be removed from his office before completion of his term? The President of India may be removed from his office before expiry of the term by the Parliament, and that is only through impeachment on the grounds of violating the Constitution of India. I will discuss impeachment in my next video in detail, so keep watching. So this is all about a brief account of the President of India.